What's going on, guys? Kaigu here, and in today's video is my third video with Jed Baka talking about Doctor Strange. Today we're going to talk about Doctor Strange in PvE. That's going to include Alliance Raid as well as the current invasion. Just a reminder, today's the last chance to join in the giveaway. 2500 space and what you liked or disliked about the video in the comment section down below, and you'll be entered in the giveaway. The giveaway is a sit down with me to look over your account, your badges, your skills, things like that, and get you rolling. Let me know also in the comments section down below if you prefer broken up like this with a lot of in-depth knowledge, like I'm doing with Jed Baka, or if you prefer my older videos where I get the information from the people and then I make a 15 to 30 minute video by myself doing the quick hits as we go. Let's get into it. Next, we got PvE, and as a reminder, in this we're going to talk about the two main PvE modes in the game right now, which is the Thanos invasion and the Alliance raids, which will change depending on the week. So what do you have for us as far as skills?
So again, with cookie cutter type stuff again, Jed. I know. With this build, just generic. I'm running Astral Walk for my Soul Predator like skill, and what I'm doing here is I'm looking to increase the damage received on whatever target that we're after by that 28.58% up there. So that right there, I'm helping myself and the entire team out. Everybody is now doing that much more damage to that one target because it's a condition that's applied to them. What else I like to run is I like to also run my my bind. I like to run barrier curse to be able to add extra guard damage. So even like looking at some of these raid bosses, I know a lot of us are and still learning about whatnot and what could be beneficial. I have a feeling that guard break could be able to be really beneficial for us at one point to be able to get higher damage. Just getting higher guard break in on bosses in general. Like if you could be able to guard break Dormammu, in phase 1, you could totally skip it, right? So it's like I like to be able to add guard damage into the mix as well. But for me, the reason why I have barrier curse into the build is because of how I do my traits. Because in my PvE game mode, my goal is to pump out my damage skills as early and often as I possibly can. So I'm trying to use my Astral Walk and my highest damage skills off of recharge the best I can. So in that way, just to maximize my damage output, whenever I can, get out my barrier curse, reduce all the cooldown on all my skills, and again keep pumping everything out as a machine gun as fast as I can.
Sounds
Since
good.
we're in the guess race.
Sounds great. But I don't see anything else that really changed as far as skill wise. You had mentioned that there's been some changes to specializations.
Yeah, so what I'll do is there's a couple of different combos of specializations, and again, going just the last note on this, the skill usage, whatnot. Again, I'm a big fan of everybody picking and choosing what's going to work for them because not everybody is going to be built the same. Not everybody has the same RNG, right? So I just want to make sure that that's well known. They look, this is just one of many options that you could have available to you. Here, getting back into the specializations. This is what I like to run with that cookie cutter build. Is I like to have my max cooldown increased by 13.5% because I actually was able to hit 63.5% in my cooldown. So for me, it is value added for me to run Waves of Despair. Right. This I would consider as one of the items that you could have interchangeable if especially if you can't hit that mark and you're just going to use something like maybe Force Field and maybe a companion like Mordor or something like that to help you out with your cooldown woes. and
Interesting.
then again with the cookie cutter with with your cruel choice and your will of the destroyer to up your mystic arts damage and your attack percentage. And then in this build, yes, again I'm using force field to be able to reduce all the cooldowns of my remaining timers and all my skills. So again, my whole thing with PvE, I know I'm not that big of a PvE guy. I'm probably the absolute wrong person to ask about PvE because I spent all my time doing PvP, testing and building and everything like that. I rely on like smart dudes like Jav and Jopan and all those guys like uh uh Sensei help me and I look
But
at
that
those
is
guys.
where this information's coming from, right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I mean, I read what they put out there, and I formulate it into what's going to work for me, and that's kind of what we all do to each other. We all give each other information, we share it, and it's like, okay, you know what? I like this one aspect of what you do, and I'm going to take that for myself. And then we're all sitting there golf clapping to each other and saying, "Good, I'm glad that this one aspect actually helps you out because." Out of everything that we've reviewed today, Kiger, I mean, look at the many different options. Like, we could probably sit here for a couple more hours diving into different aspects, different builds and whatnot. And I'm a big DS nerd. Like, there's so many things that I wish I could have talked, touched base on, but like, we would sit here for like a 12-hour video, and who wants to sit through that? you know?
I mean, some diehard strangers would, but not so much
Yeah.
many other people. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, a big change from our previous builds is we kind of skipped over Omega cards for Omega War because things didn't really change a whole lot. But here, things change actually a lot. Set 1 does have the supervillain damage card, but it doesn't really have anything to really go off of. We had talked a little bit off air, and we came to an agreement here. We have our set 2 for crit damage and cooldown with the 2 set bonus. That's the wrong
Wait,
set.
wait. Sorry.
Top middle. Crit damage and cooldown with the 2 set of attack. Then we have set 4, which is a very interesting set if we're talking about the two game modes. Um, if we're talking about the Thanos invasion, you would take the full set 4 for supervillain damage decrease, villain damage, villain damage decrease, with 2 set stamina recovery and 4 set ultimate recovery. That's good on all characters, not just Strange. If you're in other game modes or you're not really worried about the villain damage or decrease, then you would just take the first 2 set, the 2 Nebula cards on the left, with the 2 set stamina recovery, and then come down to our last 2 set, set 10, for 8, 9, one more, 10, bottom left, with the 2 middle ones, the one on the left being crit damage, and the one on the right being supervillain damage, which allows you to stack on that even more to get this 2 set as well. Was there anything you wanted to add, Jed?
No, no, I think that you're hitting it pretty good, man. Because one of the avenues that we kind of do struggle with that sometimes is the stamina, the stamina woes of sometimes getting stamina locked. Especially if you're upping your cooldown so much. Any extra avenue that we could help ourselves out with stamina recovery is much appreciated in the PvE world. Because in PvE, what are we doing? We're pretty much mashing our skills on recharge to get as much out as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you don't want to invest in too many cards, and you're that free to play player that can't really get many cards, you can also, without having to move around too much. Uh, I mean, it's not as good, but you can cut off the 2 set set 10, and then pick up the 2 set set 6 that you're already using from the PvP that we suggested with the crit damage and attack or HP if you really need it. Just so you're not investing in 2 different sets of cards As I said, not as good, but it'll allow your more bang for your buck. Uh, Last but not least, we'll jump over into companions. As you can speak to whatever summons you want to talk about, but what I like to talk about with companions is their bonus effects, the 5-star, 6-star bonuses, and the one that stands out here is Gilgamesh. As you see right there, you have it, 5-star bonus of supervillain damage, which he doesn't have to be your summon. Just having him on your board gives you supervillain damage, which is just extra damage to the boss.
Yeah, and this is a great avenue to, like, if we're trying to figure out, where else can I get super villain damage? Because I mean, we already looked at the cards and we've seen, we don't have too many avenues for super villain damage. And going back to when we were talking about building the Doctor Strange cards out, most the like 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to be prioritizing cooldown decrease into our exclusive stats, since that's really one of the main spots we have to get it.
Mm-hmm. Now, what have you been doing for summons?
For me, for summons and PvE, I always have to pivot whatever summon is going to play best to the game mode. Like, we had that Magneto event, so what did I run? I went full guard break build and I was running Scrag. That's one game mode. If, with Alliance raids, we're looking at, doing as much damage as we can to the boss, but with Alliance raids, just like Alliance War, you're probably coordinating with people, which maybe you would, stagger Thena, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Thena's like Thena's a team wide buff
AoE
that you could be able.
damage boost, yep.
Yeah, so
And in
everybody loves.
that same vein, you have Cersei, which is AoE damage as well as defense decrease.
Exactly, exactly. But like right now, a lot of us, we're still learning that game mode, so we're so kind of in mode of like, okay, let's just up the attack so we can be able to kind of burn this down quicker. So, maybe as we all learn, all of us are learning in our big community, right? And maybe we figure out that, I don't know, Moon Knight is the best guy because he's actually able to blind a boss.
I
I don't
put
know. That's
out,
probably I
well,
won't.
no, the bosses have blind immunity, but
Right.
I did forget to mention yesterday I put out a Moon Knight video, and Moon Knight is an option for group PvP because he hits
Yeah.
multiple targets for the blind.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good notable mention. Yeah, so we should have brought it up earlier.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, no, man, that's good. That's
So
good.
Thena, Cersei, things like that, that will help your
Yeah,
team. You can lean into the guard break. I mean, like I said, if you can't really uh, build everything up, Gilgamesh is a good option that we just had up because it's highest guard break, so it'll scale off your guard damage if you're doing guard break with the Magneto raid. The Magneto invasion would be a good thing. Scrag is also obviously the best in slot for that. But I mean, like I said, if you can't boost everybody, it's not bad to have the Gilgamesh. Um, People on the same vein will do Thena, Cersei, allowing their 800k um, alts to actually punch up a little bit on these bosses and get some personal damage scores, which is what we're all trying to do. Uh,
yeah, and
yep.
to speak to that note, Kiger. I mean, it's nice. Like, it's okay. Hey, look, I feel like I can do X amount of damage to this boss. Can we get, maybe 4 or 5 people on their alts and they all run Thena and rotate Thena? I'm just tossing that as a generic scenario, but something we could be able to do as teams to organize is like, okay, all I have is available is alts. I could use my alts with these companions and at least boost our main guy.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a? I know you said you're not huge on PVE game modes. Obviously, Mordo is an option, boosting you and letting you do your stuff more often. We already touched on that.
Yep.
Um, do you? I know
For
you're not
me,
big. I know you're not big on the PVE stuff, but do you have any tips or tricks to give the people for Strange?
Um. I was gonna say I know that like I really didn't touch base on an actual favorite companion, but I would say this: if my RNG was better, I would be running Mordo 24/7 in PvE. Like it's just that getting your ultimate cooldown, that much. I mean, for general PvE that actually has like mobs and bosses and everything like that. I love Mordo. I mean, it's awesome because of all the bonuses that you get out of this for just general PvE use and not targeted. But any like tips and tricks for PvE? I'm pretty shallow in that pond, so the only thing I could say is have fun playing Tekken with Tranquil Guardian on the PvE mobs if you're gonna be responsive. Oh, actually no. Okay, I do have one tip. If you ever fight Laufey, in which we have, and especially in the Alliance raids, make your team save your ults with Doctor Strange and use Tranquil Guardian. Again, the reminder with the skill. Let's bring it back up. Immunity and removing. We're dealing with the chill problem in
Yep.
Laufey. So
Or
as
the
long as you're
confusion
making
for
sure,
Mordo, same thing.
yep. So I mean, this is bread and butter. If you're ever gonna fight, if you fight Laufey, every single Doctor Strange should be bringing this. I don't even care if you're considered as a DPS Doctor Strange. This is you need this because you have to stagger it. Like you're not always going to get hit with the status immunity by your partners because sometimes they may be out of position.
Yep, there's definitely this move right here, Tranquil Guardian. There's a lot of mechanics and a bunch of the PvE game modes that you can literally ignore because of the immunity, which
Yeah,
is really helps you out.
yeah, and and Kiger, one thing that I didn't that we really didn't do a big service to, and like in skills and whatnot, is like, you know, uh, again, we would be able to sit here and talk for hours, but again, like I would recommend every Doctor Strange to take a look at what else you have available to you. Take a look at every single skill that you have out here. Take a look at what could be able to buff your people around you. Like if you got stamina issues, here Doctor Strange has a stamina issue thing to deal with. If you're having problems doing damage to your targets, well, here we have another solution for you in Astral Walk. So it's like really getting familiar with your whole skill set overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me is most beneficial because then it's like, okay, I know what my options are to be able to build in if I'm lacking in a department. Just like how earlier when we were talking through the defense buff enhancements that you get out of Soul Enhance, just trying to budget it. There's never gonna be one and done build for every Doctor Strange. That's why I came at you today with I'm pretty much coming to you with all cookie cutter stuff today because there's just too many options that we have available to us, but it's all unique to the situation. Each one single skill change you do is going to have a domino effect of maybe how you stat or how you run your trades.
Agreed. Man, it was great having you on, Jed. Definitely helped a lot of the Stranges and the community. And this information wasn't just from you; it's from a bunch of the bigger Stranges in the uh, U.S. East area, right?
I really can't even say that. I mean, I think we now have a collection of everybody from everywhere. We got a pretty big community going on now. We kind of got our own Discord, pretty big home that's been growing. We've been information sharing and a lot of tips and tricks are asked there. We give each other build advice. Just a couple of days ago, I was sitting with a player, doing a voice chat, and we did stat reviews and potential different ways on how to play a character because again, not everybody has the same RNG, so maybe you might have to do a different set of skills to accomplish what you need.
Awesome. Now, if anyone wants to ask Jed any questions, or several of these other bigger Stranges, like I said, comment section down below, the description down below will have my Discord. There's a section for Doctor Strange or even just the regular MFR channel's fine. And there's always people talking about whatever's currently going on in the game, as well as their individual characters. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have any questions. I'm sure Jed will also be watching the comment section. And until next time, guys.